I have learned a lot this gardening season, y'all. A lot about growing food and a lot about growing on YouTube. Some of it surprised me, some of it definitely challenged me, and there's some lessons in here that might help you make better content and grow more veggies. Welcome back to Ray Ray's Garden, y'all. August is a really good time for reflection, and so I've taken a moment, written down some notes on what worked, what didn't work, and what I want to do different moving forward. I've broken this down in both gardening as well as content creation. Let's start with gardening. Less can be more. This was a season that I saw firsthand. It oftentimes is better to plant fewer plants, focus on their health, and you'll end up with more crops at the end. I used to think that by planting a gazillion of something, I'm bound to end up with more of a harvest, but it doesn't really work like that. By focusing on fewer plants, I was really able to make sure they had way more space. They ended up way healthier, and I ended up with a bigger crop. Watching a few plants be really healthy as opposed to a whole bunch of them being moderately healthy was also great to see and made gardening that much more enjoyable. Microclimates are real, y'all. Some of my pepper plants absolutely suffered this year, while other pepper plants did fantastic, and they were only 30 feet away from each other. Things like sunlight, airflow, the type of soil that's in one raised bed versus another truly make a difference. And I discovered this year that experimenting with different parts of the yard with the same plant can actually be really rewarding. It also saved me because some of those peppers that didn't make it, I had a backup planted elsewhere. It's also okay to start over when you have to. I ended up having to replant my beans twice this year because the other patch got eaten by some rabbits, and so I started them late, and now they're doing fantastic. As I mentioned about those peppers that didn't work out, I actually planted a backup raper plant and a backup serrano, and I'm super glad I did, even though it was a month late in the season. Starting over isn't failure, it's adaptation. Nature sets the pace. There was plenty of times this season where I wanted to film a video because that's what most of America was probably focused on. Like, say for example, dill and cilantro in spring. People want to know how to harvest. People want to know how to store that stuff in the freezer. But it just didn't work out because mine wasn't quite ready. And that's okay. It's also a really good reminder that we're not in charge, Mother Nature is. Amongst many other things, gardening can teach patience, which is something I definitely learned this season. Patience is a really good counterbalance for content creation because social media wants everything right now, and in the gardening world, doesn't really work out like that. Moving on to content creation lessons. And oh, there was plenty of those this season also. Every video doesn't have to go viral. This was a big mindset change for me. I used to totally stress out over views. I would post a video and then spend all day refreshing in the dashboard to try to see how many views I got. Okay, I still do that a little bit, but the difference now is I try to not focus on views and try to focus on making consistent content that is for my community. My goal is not to go viral, it's to grow with intention. Virality and success follows after making content that serves the people that enjoy them. That's really counterintuitive though, and can be a tough lesson to learn. In fact, I'm still working on that. Breaks are necessary, not optional. There were so many times I felt like I was slipping this year, burned out, rushing through edits, and just not enjoying content creation like I used to. In fact, after taking a week or two off here and there, I came back stronger and refreshed and ready to have fun again. I've learned to schedule in advance as much as I can, and putting breaks in there super important, and again, not really optional. It's mandatory now. In the world of content creation, some training is worth paying for. Somewhere along this journey, I figured out that all the free tips and tutorials can only take you so far. Don't get me wrong, I have learned a lot from so many creators who have offered so much free advice. Thank you for that. So this past winter and spring, I slowed down a little bit, got a Coursera account, and dived deep into learning more about Adobe. After taking a bunch of the actual Adobe-made courses, I ended up with 2 professional certifications through Adobe. In fact, they ended up using me for some of their marketing on Coursera, and it was such an honor to be recognized by Adobe. All of this training and certification really translated into helping me make content better and more efficiently. My thumbnails have improved, and I'm better at graphic design. Not just from a social media standpoint, but from an artistic standpoint, which is something I knew nothing about, and I truly needed a mentor and a paid training program to teach me. Audience over algorithm. This was a tough lesson for me to learn because coming from a computer science background, I definitely understand technology and algorithms, and I definitely understand that that's all data driven. And so I spent a lot of time chasing trends and trying to copy some of the successful YouTubers in my niche. And what ended up happening is, I think I had it backwards. I had algorithm first and then audience. And when I started talking to real people and answering questions and helping people with problems that they had, I switched that back to the right order, audience first and then algorithm. So even though I have a very small channel and a very small community, those are my people. And if I'm able to help them and grow together, that's a huge win. I've got one lesson left here in my notes that I saved to the end because I really think it applies to gardening just as much as content creation. Give yourself grace. There were so many projects in my garden and in my yard that I didn't get done. It's early August, which means that clock is ticking, and some of them I might not get to, and that's okay. It's a great time for me to remember that life isn't always about the destination, but also the journey. Same thing for content creation. I was planning on making millions by now, and clearly that is not the case for everybody, certainly not the case for me. And I am totally okay with that because what I did build this year is a small but growing community that wants to help each other, grow our own natural food, and have a little fun along the way. So whether you're growing your own food, making YouTube videos, or doing both, I hope you have a chance to slow down this summer and think about all you've accomplished. Celebrate those wins, give yourself a pat on the back, give yourself grace for the things you didn't get done, and learn in the process. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up so more people can watch it, and I really hope you subscribe to this community. We would love to have you. We'll catch you next time. Ray out.